All right, we're live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Dr. Alan Harper. I'm your secure vibe coder, and we are here to do a live secure vibe coding session. All right, this is our sixth one. So, this is our sixth hour that we've been working on this project. And we do about, it's probably maybe about 7 hours, but we do about an hour a day. So, come along for the journey as we build this app securely. We are using AI to build a software application, and we're going to do it securely. And if you've joined us, go ahead and drop a hello in the chat there so I know you're out there. And we'll get started. Now, this app, we're calling it User Vibe OS. And the idea is we're going to track the user journey lifecycle from cradle to grave. So my idea is that as a user interacts with a website, they give off vibes or signals to the developer. And if you're wise as a developer, you can capture those vibes throughout the life cycle. And I've established the terms over here of each one of these stages of the life cycle. All right. So whether you're going to attract or qualify or build anticipation or nurture, and then once you get the user, then you need to continue to ideate with that user because the best ideas come from your user. Okay, that's a pro tip. And then once you get those ideas by way of feature request, okay, then you need a way for them to report bugs. Okay, then you want some sentiment surveys. So along the way in their journey interacting with your app, randomly, occasionally you want to pop up a little survey to them that says, hey, how are you enjoying this? And give them, 0 to 5 stars, and just that's it. And then get out of their way. And when you get those vibes back from the user, then you can use that data to determine the sentiment or the happiness of your user base. And if you need to do more, right? And then you want to collect testimonials for those ones that come back with the 5 stars. Right. So then now you know that you're going to get an awesome review from that customer. Right. And you only want those testimonials from, your 5-star reviews. Right. And so then ultimately, if you get somebody giving you 1-star reviews, then you could start to recapture. You start a recapture process for them. Also, if they leave the site and they churn out, you can try to recapture them then, like through a little quick survey. Hey, how could we help you better? And if there's anything we can do, you can also downsell them, like you can give them a discount. We see that being very common these days. But look, there's no one-stop app that does all of that. And we're going to build that app. We're going to use AI to do that through vibe coding. We've already got a good start on it. All right. So we are focused on the ideate, the blue box down here, because the rest of these first 4 have been done pretty well by companies. And you can get, like, for example, I use Go High Level. They do this very well, okay? But they don't do any of this, okay? And then there are other products out there that do these individually, but they don't do the rest of it. And honestly, I think what happens is many of them have the vision to do all of it, but then they get bought up by VCs or they get rich and they get distracted. And then, they just then niche down and focus on that one thing. And that's fine. I hope that doesn't happen to us. I hope we actually accomplish the vision and actually bring this thing to market, right? That's the goal. Hey, 3Ds, glad that you made it back. All right, so here's the idea then. We're going to jump in and see where we're at on this ideate. Now, again, we've been at this a total of maybe 5 to 6 hours so far. We already have a working prototype that's quite honestly as good, if not better, than some of these competitors I've seen in the space, all right? And I've looked at their stuff. It's junk. I actually tried some trials out. It's junk. It's crap. And we're already better than them. We already have more functionality, but we're going to keep going, right? We're trying to be 10 times better than them so that their customers look at us and go, wow, what am I doing with these other guys, right? And I'm going to drop them like a bad habit, and I'm going to come over to these guys, User Vibe OS, right? That's the goal. So let me show you what we got cooking so far. All right. Again, if you've joined us, drop a hello in the chat here. Love to see who's out there, and let me know where you're from. Also, you can find more information about me in the free mentoring link up here. And that's where you can join my free mentoring group, and you can find out about my other offerings inside of that group. Okay, including my secure vibe code masterclass. All right, and then other mentoring groups where you can get more access to me. And ultimately, I can come alongside you and help you build your app. So if you're interested in that, make sure that you check out that free mentoring out there. Also, like and subscribe to me on whatever channel you prefer. I'm broadcasting right now on 4 different platforms. All right, so you can also look for me on the other platforms. All right, let's get into it. All right, so we have established here our app, and here's what it looks like. Let me take you back to the homepage. Okay, so this is what our homepage looks like. We used our secure vibe coding OS, which is part of the masterclass. All right, but you can also get that on GitHub. Go back a couple videos and you can see how we installed that in about 10 minutes. Okay, so we got all of this out of the box, and most importantly, we have security batteries included. Right, so again, this secure vibe code OS has security batteries included, meaning that it's a secure baseline right out of the gate. Right, you're already in the 1 percentile of security of websites. Now our job is not to mess that up and to keep it secure as we go, and so that's what we'll be talking about on this channel. Everything we do with security in mind, and that's what makes us different. Right, we're going to secure these apps one at a time, and we're going to change the world through that. So join us and come along. Now, as you come on our webpage, on our homepage here, this is just still on my local laptop. Soon, I think maybe in a session or two, we're going to push it up and get it live so that even you guys can play with it, right? And help me find bugs in it. And that'll be awesome, by the way. Can't wait to get it up there to where you guys can bang on it. Tell me what you think. But right now, this is what our home site or what homepage looks like. It's decent. It'll do, but we'll make it better later once we have screenshots that are of our back end, and then we'll actually replace this with actual screenshots, and it'll be so much better then. All right. So once you log in, we got all this working like in 10 minutes. We got most of this functionality up. And then over the last couple sessions, we've been building out the rest of the functionality one at a time. So the idea is coming back here, I want to make sure that I remind you. So we have this front end of our app right here. It's JavaScript. Okay. And then the back end, we have a landing page where users can sign up, but then they get access to the dashboard. Okay. Where they can set up an API key, and then that API key talks to the front end. So we want to make this little module that the developers can drop into their website. Like let's say they're on WordPress or on Wix or some no-code tool out there or whatever, or they're making, they're vibe coding like us, right? We want to make it super simple to where in just, a minute or two, they can install our widget into their web app, right? And how cool that will be. And then they can manage it through the back-end dashboard. Right, and we're focused on the user feedback piece right here, feature request right now. By the way, we need this for our app too. So once I get this thing live, I want you guys to be dropping feature requests in there, and then all of our future customers will be dropping them in there, and that's the way we go, right? So we eat our own dog food around here, as we say, and that's a good thing, right? Okay, so we have the back end here. We have this functionality. We did this in about 10 minutes. Claude Code whipped up this API key page. It's fully functional. It works. We've already tested that we can revoke and we can delete keys. It's awesome. Okay. Tells the user how to use their keys. Okay. And then what we do is the user can come in here into the projects and they could set up. I think I'm going to rename this to feature request. We'll just tell Claude Code to do that. In fact, let's just kick that off while we're talking. On the dashboard, rename the projects link and page to feature request. Okay, just like that. All right, so that's going to cook that up. It's going to change it while we're talking. That'd be cool. All right, so what they do is they come here and they could set up their first project. So this is fully functional, right? So you come in here and you can actually see then the back-end board, look there, feature request changed. How cool is that? And so what you could see here, that's vibe coding, by the way. Like I could have went off and found that code and fixed it like myself, but like why? Let AI do it. Okay. And you ain't seen nothing yet. Like this is awesome, and how quick and how fast this is. By the way, just a reminder, a couple sessions ago, Claude Code told us that it would take a normal developer 4 to 6 weeks to do all of this. And we've done it in 4 to 5 days to just get up to this point. And by the way, that's 4 to 5 hours because I'm only doing an hour a day. Like, so, you know, amazing, guys, amazing. Throw me a thumbs up or something in the chat for that. Like, you know, that's incredible. I hope you're excited about that. I know I am. All right. And so it's the speed that we can do this that's exciting, right? That's what makes vibe coding different. That's what's opening up these possibilities for the world to jump on this thing and build their own apps and change the world, right? All of us have an app inside of us. I think most of us have many apps inside of us, right? But even your parents, if you were to sit down and talk to them, they've got an app inside of them, right? They just don't know how to get it out. And we're going to help them get that out, right? And do it securely. So when you come into the back end here and you look at the feature requests, so like you can imagine we'll have other menu items here for bug reports and for sentiment and surveys, and we'll just keep building this thing out, right? Each week. But what we're going to do here is you look in here, you see the board, okay? And this is this tells you that you have like one comment that's pending, because we turned on moderation for our comments, which is a feature that the other guys don't even have. Okay, so we're just stacking up on them, right? We're just dunking on them. And you know, we're going to start showing off here soon, and we're going to win their clients. All right, so I've noticed that last time we were testing it, this reject button doesn't work. Okay, but the approve button does work, so I'm not going to click it because that'll just approve it, and then we'll have to set up another comment. We also have this demo tab where they can actually, this is what the user will see on their end. Notice how it's color coordinated, and that happens over here in the settings. So check that out. Like the user can change their settings. So let's just say, for example, we want to make this darker. We want to make this more red, okay? Like a more reddish pink. Okay, so I want to show you something. Update that, and then go back. We'll go back to our tab here and look at our demo. All right, and it's already, let's see here. Did it already update that? Let's refresh. Okay, did I hit save on that? Let's make it a different color entirely, blue. Okay, update branding. There we go. Look at that, immediate. Okay. Again, this is the power of Next.js, but also Convex, the database in the back end. It's seamless, guys, and it's immediate. Let's go ahead and set that back to pink. I like that. Okay, so this allows for the customer to customize the widget that we're giving them. That's huge. I'm telling you, some of the competitors don't even do that. Okay, so we're already stepping out ahead of those guys. They don't know what's coming. But we're going to start dunking on them, and we're going to start taking their customers. All right, cool. Thanks, 3Ds. Thanks for that comment. Hey, other guys that are here in the session, drop me a chat. Tell me where you're from, and let me know you're live out there. Go back and look at that, immediate. Now, we also have an embed tab here. This is where the developer will come in and grab their widget. They can either use an iframe, which just means they take this and drop it into like their Wix page or their whatever. Like, you know, you guys, some of you have set up websites before, you know what I mean. But any developer out there will know what to do with this iframe. Okay, if they don't want to use an iframe, because you know some apps they prefer not to do an iframe, well then we can do a web component. Okay, and that's what that looks like. They can also just straight up install it with the npm package, and then they can put this into their app if it's a React app. Okay, so look at that, sweet. All right, we've got the settings and we've got analytics already. I'm telling you, the other competitors don't even have analytics pages. Is Convex scalable? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you need to use it for all your projects, 3Ds. Look, this is my first foray into it. I've only been using it about a month or two. I used to use Mongo, And I love Mongo, but it's much more complicated to set up, and you have to know like how to query it and all. You don't have to mess with any of that with Convex, especially with AI. It's very super tuned to it. And the best thing about it, do some research on it. The best thing about it is it's a real-time database that has live updates. So like had we done this in Postgres or whatever, we'd have to pull that database like once every 5 seconds or whatever, and it would be a delay before we actually could update. This thing is instant. So that's really useful when we get comments from users. Like we want it to be instant. Like we don't want some delay, right? It's just unnecessary with today's technology. So forget Postgres and forget Mongo for that matter. So Convex is kind of like a combination of the two. It's got some relational database qualities, but it's mostly a document non-relational database, no SQL type of structure. It's sort of a hybrid. And just you'll see it's all the rage nowadays. All the guys, Theo, all of them are like going toward it. And so we're trend setters, right? And I mean, sometimes you're on the bleeding edge, and that's what we're doing. All right. So we've got this one pending comment in here. So let's just go tell Claude to fix that. I notice on the comment moderation, the reject button is not working. Fix that. Yeah, Postgres is all right. Look, here's what I found about databases. People see databases like as a matter of religion. Okay, it ought not be that way. But I mean, like there are people who want to fight you over what database they're going to use. I could care less. Like I want functionality, I want speed, I want security, and like I'm going to use the latest and greatest tech for that. And I'm not married to anything, right? And except for my wife, right? So Postgres has got some qualities to it that are good, particularly if you want to be in the compliance space. It's got some things because it's been around for like 20, 30 years. Like it's got some auditability and some different things, some features and bells and whistles that are very useful if you're in the banking space or you're doing national security type stuff. Okay, but we're not, right? We're just we're vibe coding, we're building apps that are customer based and not we're not trying to make them compliant with some federal regulation or something, right? And the other thing about Postgres is you need to use something like Prisma or something to stand between you and your database. And with Convex, you get that for free. It's built in. So you don't have to mess with this middleware layer. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like if you've used Postgres, you have to do Prism, you have to do migrations. Like forget all that. Like, why do you need migrations? And it's just unnecessary complications. Now, what I liked about Mongo is you didn't need migrations with Mongo. So I dropped Postgres years ago and went to Mongo, but then recently just dropped them and went to Convex. Convex also simplifies your APM backend. If we were using Mongo or Postgres, we would have to write all of the APIs, or AI would have to write them for us. Everything we would do, every database pull, we'd have to write a new API. Well, now you don't have to write an API. You just drop a file into the Convex folder and AI will do it for you. And it handles the API automatically for you. Okay, so that means you don't have all these API routes in your app. Okay, that's huge. And they handle all of that, the rate limiting and all that is all bundled in. So like, it's just much more secure. And that way also, it eliminates entire classes of attack, like SQL injections, like are not even possible because like Convex will just throw that back at them. Like it won't even accept the query. So like big points, mass points. And they're just getting started. Like they're about a year old or so, and they just got big funding. So like better things to even come, but totally scalable. It's cloud-based. It's built to scale. It's serverless. Okay. So like, yeah, totally scalable. Much more so than like Postgres. Try to scale up Postgres. You start getting up to hundreds of thousands of users, like on certain apps, like let's say we had this chat app or something that had 1,000 users. You're going to start lagging with Postgres. So that's why a lot of people start dropping SQL based relational databases years ago and start going to document based because they're much faster. And I've actually witnessed that. Yep. Yep. It's great to have an all-in-one DB, is what 3D says. Let me throw that up. Yes, I agree. 100%. All right. Cool. Now, what I did was I lost my... Okay, I lost that one. All right, so I'm back. All right, guys, let's continue on. Look, it says it fixed it, okay, while I was yabbing. So let's see, did it? Go back to our board, and what we can see here is let's reject this one. Well, something flashed, but it didn't actually do anything. Okay, at least that's progress, but it's still not doing it. Let me look at the logs here. Rejecting comment. It said it rejected successfully. Okay, take that. I got no errors over here. What I'm looking at here, this is the Next.js logs, and this is my Convex logs. Okay, and you can go back a couple videos. You see how we started all this. It took 5 minutes to set all this up, or excuse me, 10. Okay, the button clicks now, and I see this in Convex logs, but I still see that comment in pending, and it does not process it fully. Fix that. And this is just development, guys. Like if we were to write this, like if I were to go off and write that function to like, you know, fix that, like I'd have a bug or it wouldn't work right and I have to iterate. But now we got AI can do all that, and it's better than we are, and it makes less errors than we do, but it still makes errors. And so that's why you got to debug as you go. Don't let those bugs stack up, because they're like, you can get in a situation where you have too many bugs. And I've been in situation, not with Claude Code, but back when I used to use Cursor, one of the reasons why I got off Cursor is because it would get into a death spiral. What would happen is, let's say you had 10 errors, and you could see like the errors like count over in the files over here. Like if there are errors in a file, like TypeScript errors in particular, you'll see the counts. And I would see it say 4 errors. And then I would tell Cursor to fix those errors. And all of a sudden it would say 6 errors. Then it would say 10 errors. And then like I go into file, there's like 100 errors. And it's like spiraling out of control. And I'd have to say stop. And I have to like throw all those changes out. I'd have to revert them, tell it to like revert back to yesterday's version and start over. Like, you know, and I'd lose work sometimes. And so I hated that. What I love about Claude Code is it never seems to get in those death spirals. All right, so now let's see what it's saying here. All right. Look at all this. It's giving us what it did. All right, so here's the root cause. The query was showing all unapproved comments, including rejected ones. Okay, this caused rejected comments to stay in the moderation queue. Okay, it makes sense. And here's what it did. It fixed, here's the before code, the after code. So if you want to learn coding, like as you go, you just slow down, you start reading this stuff, right? And then you ask it, you say, copy this in. It says, you know, I'd say, you said that you wrote it like this afterwards. Why did you do that? And you just ask Claude Code that, and it'll tell you, okay? And you can even just copy that, and then you can just paste it back down into your thread and just continue on. You can have a conversation with it. It'll teach you what it's doing. Otherwise, it'll just keep moving. Okay, fix the comment count logic. Okay, gives you a little table here. Here's the changes it did. Okay, yeah. All right, so let's see it. The proof is in the pudding. Oh, look. Since it fixed how it was showing things in here, it already says all caught up. But now we got to go test it again for real. All right, so let's go into the demo. Let's drop a comment in. This is cool. Okay, we go back to the board. We see that that's pending approval. And this is only pending approval because over under settings, we had this toggle right here. It says moderation enabled. If we turn that off, then the comments just fly through. Okay, this is a cool feature though, because if you're running an app, you don't want like sometimes you don't want like knuckleheads comments like in your in your chat, right? Because then other people see that. And that reminds me, we'll also add the ability for the admin to delete the comments in case one of them gets by. That'll be cool too. So here what we'll do is we'll go ahead and reject. Okay, and it says you're all caught up. Okay, still it kept it at 7. Okay, good. All right, so what I want, let's see here. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want to go down a lot of these rabbit holes. So what I'll do is I'll just put a note on our to-do list. All right. So what we do is we have the reject button. We fix that. Okay. I'm going to add a note here to add ability to delete comments by admin only or user who submitted it, because that's cool. That's a cool feature. Sometimes you put a comment in and you want to take it back, right? So we can do that. Okay. Now here's an important thing that I wanted to do on our kickoff. All right, so I'm going to kick off a separate Claude terminal and have it check the documentation against the implementation. I forgot to do that. I usually do that. That's good practice. That's a pro tip for you. All right. So we have this document, like when we were vibe coding, like on day 1, we told it to build out this document. Let's see, where's it at? Oh, I'm in the wrong screen. You come up here to Explorer and you come into the docs. By the way, just a reminder for you for showing up to this live stream. I've given you access to 2 of my course modules, which are inside my masterclass, 2 of about 40 or so. And they come, this explains how the Secure Vibe Coding OS works and all that. So you get those baked in. But inside of the docs folder, we had it build for us. Where's it at? Where did it put it? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm staring right at it. This is their feature request widget. This is our implementation plan. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that. Okay. And what I'm going to do is open up a new terminal here and enter Claude, because you can run multiple parallel sessions of Claude, which is really cool. All right. So now it's in Claude. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this again. I'm going to drag this in. And I'm going to say use Ultra Thinking and evaluate this plan document against our implementation and identify what was missed. I want you to check all functionality, ensure all buttons and functions work as planned. Look at all aspects of the plan and even consider things that were missed in the plan. Okay. And then I'm going to hit Shift Tab twice and put it in plan mode, because I don't want it to make any changes while we're off looking at other stuff, like, because it may like break something that I'm not aware of. So I want it to just tell me, right? And then I'm going to say document this review in a separate document in docs folder. This way, if it comes up with a long list of stuff that it missed, then I'll just tell it in the future here, either tonight or some other time. I'll tell it to, take this revision document here and implement it fully. Okay. You always want to document your progress, because you will forget, and believe me, the agent will forget, like as soon as it's out of its context. There's the funny thing about these LLMs. They're kind of like that movie. There's a movie called 365 Dates or something like that, and it's about this woman who has a brain injury, and she every morning it's like she has a new memory. So she's dating this guy, and every morning he has to show up and like get her to fall in love again. And that's the whole premise of the movie. And they go on all these dates, but they do it like new every day, right? And she never really comes out of it. Well, that's the way LLMs are. Like every time you start, like every time I started that, it didn't know anything about this app. It didn't know anything that we were doing. You have to give it some context before you get it going. But if you can put some stuff in a memory, like in a document, and you can point it to that document, well then boom, then now that's how you make progress, right? That's a pro tip for you. All right. Hey guys, thanks for joining. Drop me a hello here in the chat and tell me where you're at and in the world and what you're working on, that kind of stuff. And ask any questions that you have. I'm monitoring the chat as I go, and I love to interact with you guys. Hey, I just want this to be a place where we hang out. And you guys watch me vibe code, but come along on the journey, right? You're a part of this. You're an important part of this. Eventually, sooner than later, I'm gonna get your feedback about this. And I'm gonna have you guys help me beta test this thing and like find bugs in it, right? And then we're gonna take this thing live, right? And you guys are gonna see it and be a part of that. So drop me a hello here. Let me know you're out there. Also, if you're new to me, check out my QR code up there or the link in the description. And you can find about my free mentoring. And inside of my free mentoring program, you can find out about my paid offerings, like if you need more of my time or you need me to come alongside you and help you develop an app, I'm happy to do that. And I also have a secure vibe code masterclass in there. And this is based on a lot of the stuff that we're doing here. All right. But I go in more depth in that masterclass, and you get like homework assignments and stuff so that you can actually learn this stuff. All right. So anyway, check that out if you're interested. And so this thing's cooking. Let's see. I want to tell it to auto accept. Okay. The document will. Okay, it says it will create. Yeah, I want you to go ahead and create all that. Okay, now we can leave that and we can come back to it. All right, so it's going to go cook. I like this. It's going to find critical security vulnerabilities for us, all of that. Why does it know to do that? Because if you back up a couple videos, you'll see that we're building this on a secure vibe code OS that I developed, and I put it out on GitHub. And then we installed it like in 10 minutes. And then it already knows it has security batteries included, is what I like to say. So now we've trained Claude Code how to be a security expert. So everything I ask it has that security hat on. That's what makes this different than just normal vibe coding. Some of you have vibe coded out there before, and this is new, what I'm talking to you about. You're not going to find other people out there talking about doing it securely all the way through. That's what makes us different. So subscribe, hit that like, make sure that you hit the bell notification so you see me going live. And thanks again for coming along on this journey. Hey, Nicholas, nice last name that you got there. All right. I don't know. Are we related? Could be. I think I got a cousin named Nicholas. All right. Cool. What do we got here? All right. So where are we at? Let's go back up here. This thing's baking right now. It's cooking. It's cooking, y'all. All right. Yeah, he is my cousin. You can check that out. Awesome. Okay. All right. So where are we at? Let's go back to our app. So once again, this is what our app looks like when you come into the dashboard. This is what we're taking to market. We call it User Vibe OS. It has all of this functionality. I'm just going to back up really quick for those of you who joined late. We're building an app here called User Vibe OS. It basically gets the user vibes throughout the user lifecycle journey. There's all these steps where you have, as a developer, an opportunity to capture vibes from your users. And so what we're going to do is we're going to capture those vibes. We're going to give it to the developer, and that's super valuable information. We're starting with the ideate piece down here, which is feature request. All right. So we have the feature request up. We've been doing this all of about 6 hours now so far, over about 6 days. And we already have a functioning app that we could put out and start selling right now tonight if we wanted to. But it's not quite ready to share with anybody yet. It's still got some bugs in it. So we're gonna polish it a little bit, and then we're gonna launch this thing, y'all. Okay, probably next week or so we'll be ready to like share this with people, like some screenshots at least, and get some hype going on it. All right, we're gonna join some social media groups. We're gonna start buzzing about this. You guys are gonna start going out and sharing the good news, like on social media about this thing, and we're gonna start getting some hype going. All right, and they don't know what's coming. Like our competitors don't know what's coming until we start dunking on them. All right, and it's gonna be super amazing, and we're gonna take their clients from them. All right, this is how it's done. So we have this app, and this is the back end. So the user comes in, they can put their keys in, and they can get their API keys. And we've tested all this before, it works. And then they can go into the feature request module. That's the one we're working on. In the future, we'll have other links down here for the other modules, like bug reports and sentiment and those other things I had on that screen. Okay, and then what they do is they come in, they can have multiple projects, because some developers have 10 apps, right? And so imagine they'll be able to have these boards for each. Okay, and then what you can see here is this is tracks, like the backlog is where the feature requests come in. And then as a developer, you can move it to under review, planned, in progress, and then completed. And I'm going to probably change the names of these categories because I'm not a fan of like it. It doesn't need all of these. We probably need 4. Okay, but this functionality is working. The demo functionality is working. Like this is what it's going to look like when they drop it into their website. This is all color coordinated. Over here in the settings, you can change the colors if you want, and immediately, bam, it comes over here. Immediately, it refreshes that color. And that's the value of Convex and React working together, because all that stuff's saved in the database, all these settings. Okay, so all right, we also have. Let me go back before I forget. I like the pink. Real men like pink too, right? All right. Okay, fuchsia, pink, whatever that is. All right, so here's what the demo looks like, right? So you can see we have one feature request in the queue. Users can come in and vote it up, vote it down. They can also drop comments on it. So this is what the user interface would look like. This is what the back-end developer interface looks like, right? So that you can actually take these things and actually these feature requests and you can move them through. All right, now we also have this embed capability here. All right, and then we have, I've showed you the settings and then the analytics. So all this works, right? So where are we at then on our to-do list? Let's see how this thing's still cooking. Okay, look at documented. We'll review that in a second. In fact, maybe we'll do it now. Okay, so it completed a comprehensive review. Look at here. Here's the review document right here that did it for us. So we right click on that review document and we'll go to preview. And what it's going to do then is it's going to drop the preview up here. And what we can do is bring this down a little bit and we can read this. Look here, it found some security issues already. Now, some of these might be false positives, so we have to but we have to go through them. No API validation on the public widget endpoints. Okay, that's important, guys. Yeah, we'll need that. No rate limiting. Okay, yep. See, how does it even know to do that? Because again, security batteries included. Up here under my Claude folder, I have a set of skills that I already gave it. I told it what rate limiting is right here, okay? I told it what API security is. It's somewhere in one of these folders under probably auth security. So it knew all of this. I didn't have to tell it. I don't have to continually tell it to do that. This is the power of secure vibe coding, especially when you build on top of something like the Secure Vibe Code OS that I developed and launched out into GitHub. All right, go back a couple videos, you can pick that up. And I tell you what, I would drop the link to that right here just to make it convenient for you guys. I'll just show you right here. If you got on GitHub and you search for Harper AA or Secure Vibe Code OS, Coding OS, what you'll find is this repo right here. And it has all that Claude stuff in it, security batteries included, under the skills folder here, okay? There you go, sweet. All right. Okay. Okay. So where were we? Go back to Claude. Read some of this other stuff. So this is good, and I'm glad it documented, because then we're going to have it start fixing this stuff. Okay, here's some functionality that was missing. Inconsistent API key requirements across the endpoints. Poor moderation UX. Users don't know comments are pending. Missing unvote. Yeah, we noticed the other day that you couldn't unvote. Notice this right here. Like in the demo, like I can't unvote. Like once I've voted, like it's locked in. Well, Claude Code noticed that right there. And so it's going to fix that for us. The tags feature is incomplete. Okay, the UI exists, but can't add tags. Okay, I didn't even know we had a tag function. That's cool though. Okay, and then it's going to polish it. The cross-site scripting sanitization, this is a security thing. It's too aggressive, so it's going to back it off some. That's good. Missing prioritization or priority indicators in the widget. Okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, you know what? I'm liking this. I'm just going to say implement. Implement that. Fix that. Bam. Cook. Okay. All right, so this is the beautiful thing about vibe coding. Many of you are like, what is vibe coding? Vibe coding is using AI to write an application for you, and you don't have to be a software developer anymore. Every one of you have an app or many apps within you. With AI, you just have to know what to ask it, and it will write the app for you. And we haven't looked at a single line of code or studied a single line of code in this whole process. We've been doing this 5 days or 6 days now. It's not necessary. Now, I'm a master coder. I've been coding since I was like 10 years old, right? So like I know how to code. But like, and that's a long time ago. It's like 45 years ago. Okay. Like, so I've been coding for like 45 years, more than most of you have been born, right? But I don't need to anymore. And I can do 10 times more. I can do it 10 times faster. And I'm going to say 100 times faster, honestly. Okay. Recently, I built a $200,000 app and sold it. Okay. Yesterday, I got a verbal agreement, and now we're doing under contract for a $33,000 app. And AI is going to write it all. Okay. And that's going to take me less than a month. And it's probably going to take me, I don't know, about 20 hours of my time to make $30,000. Like, so that's, guys, this opportunity is out here for you guys. You can do this. And there's nothing, stopping you other than just some dedication, some study, some mentoring. Like you can jump into my free mentoring up there in that QR code. You can also get access to my paid mentoring and my or my master class on this. But follow along on this. You'll learn pretty much what you need to get going on it. And then if you need more of my time to come alongside you, then you have those other options, right? But I'm telling you guys, in a year's time or so, if you practice this on a couple apps, you can go out and sell your own $33,000 apps. Okay, that's life-changing for most people, right? And that's for 1 month worth of work, by the way, guys. And that's really not 40 hours a week of work. That's like 3 hours. Okay. So like, it's up to you guys. Like, right? You want to keep trading time for money? Your most precious resource is time, right? Or do you want to free up that time and let AI do it for you and then go enjoy life? Or maybe do 10 times as much, do 10 apps, not at the same time. I wouldn't recommend that because you'll go crazy, but AI can handle it for you. If you could handle it, you're just not ready for that, but you could be. I'm working on 3-4 apps right now simultaneously, right? I'm about to pick up that 5th one once I get that under contract here in a week or so. So like, that's just AI. I got multiple AI sessions up and running. If you can see my desktop, I've got like Claude Code running and multiple things like right now, like while we're talking. So like AI can do 24/7. It can work for you. and it doesn't need vacation. It doesn't need PTO, paid time off. It doesn't need paternity leave or maternity leave. It doesn't get sick. It doesn't call in sick, right? It will be there for you, right? Ride or die. Like AI is your co-pilot, and for life, in terms of making money and success in a career and building a business. Like it's your co-founder, right? So use it. All right, Syed says, I don't have any coding experience. Which programming language should I learn to use? Which apps should I use? Hey, great question. Okay, I see somebody scan that QR code. Thank you. Okay, good question here, right? So look, here's the reality, Syed. You don't need to learn any language to get this app up and running. We haven't looked at one line of code. AI would do it for you. But if you want to know what's happening underneath the hood, JavaScript is what's happening underneath the hood here. And more specifically, TypeScript, which is a wrapper on top of JavaScript, is what we're implementing. And I don't even want to bore you with those details. Like we use this framework called React, and specifically the type of React framework we use is called Next.js. But like none of those details matter. AI knows how to do it. You just got to tell it what to do. I have typed maybe 10 prompts in over the last 5 hours of these sessions, and we have a fully functioning app. Where's it at? We have a fully functioning app here. Here's our homepage. We got this out of the box. Took us about 10 minutes to get all this set up. We can accept credit card payments out of the box. Okay. And we have a back end. And you didn't need to know how to develop to do any of this. That's the magic of vibe coding. Okay. But we add on top of that secure vibe coding. That's what makes us different. You can learn vibe coding elsewhere, but they're not doing it securely. So what's the point of that? Because if you get if your app gets hacked, then what good is it? Like you'll be out of business as soon as you start. And there's people who have done that, unfortunately. And that was my signal to jump into this space and say, hey, I have 36 years of experience in cybersecurity. I can help these folks do it securely. Right. And so that's my mission in life, is to make the world a safer place through the application of cybersecurity. Okay. So we're doing it one app at a time. Right. And so, I'm out there fighting the bad guys by securing these apps so that, I can take that cheese, right, that they're trying to come get. And it's when they get there, it's already gone because I took it. Right. So that's my mission in life. Is I'm a good guy. I'm an ethical hacker. I've written 7 books on the topic. You can go check me out on my homepage and everything. Okay. I've been a professor at one of the world's largest universities, right? Like I've done it all in the field. Now what I'm doing is I'm helping others apply those principles, and you don't have to be an expert like me. The things that we've done in this session is just we're prompting AI to do it. It's smarter than all of us. We just have to put some boundaries in place and make it do it securely the way we want it, right? And so that's what we're doing. Hopefully that helps you, Syed. Thanks for the comment. Okay. All right. Let's see. What else can we cook up here in our time remaining? Time flies when I'm doing this. Okay. So we've kicked off a separate Claude terminal. Sweet. Let's call that done. Okay. I want to make sure we have multi-tenant SaaS working. Okay. And in fact, I don't want to do that. I don't want these Claude codes to step on each other. So let's just make sure, like right here, you can see I'm back to this tab, and it's trying to do all of this stuff, right? And I know what all this stuff is because it's all part of what I set up with the Secure Vibe Coding OS. You don't need to be in the weeds on all of this, but you just need to know to use the Secure Vibe Coding OS, and you need to know how to use it, right? And that's what I teach in my masterclass. I'm also teaching it in these sessions as we go, all right? But there's much more depth in that class. Okay, so here's the files that it's going to modify. Notice that it's doing all this convex stuff, 3Ds, right? So this is where it's doing all of the API stuff and putting the rate limiting in and all of that. Okay, and I'm going to say go. Now, these changes might break our app, and that's okay. Then we have to iterate, right? The thing about security is sometimes you clamp security down. It's a little too tight. I'd much rather do that and then back it off a couple notches. It's kind of like when you're putting a bolt on, right? You want to get it too tight, and then sometimes you want to just back it off like a quarter turn, right? And that lets it like not snap, right? And that's the same with an application. Sometimes we want to clamp down the security, but then we have to back it off a notch or two to get the app to work, but still do it securely, right? Now, we don't want to like open up a gaping hole, and that'd be worse than no security. See, there's this concept called false sense of security, and that's worse than no security. I'd much rather have no security than a false sense of security, because when you have a false sense of security, like you're sleeping well at night and you're getting hacked and you don't even know it, right? And that's no fun. Like then you wake up in the morning, you got a problem, right? So, do I learn to apply secure vibe coding, and which apps are you using? Okay, I'm using Claude Code to do this. Claude Code is running within Windsurf. That's my daily driver. Windsurf is an app that you can download for free. There's another one that is popular, people like, it's called Cursor. But I don't use their artificial intelligence. I just use it for the user interface. Within the user interface, I run Claude Code. And we covered all that back in the first and second video, so go for that. And you can also find out more about that inside my free mentoring. But to answer your question, I use Claude Code within Windsurf. Thanks for the question. Okay. And most importantly, I use this secure vibe coding OS that I built out on GitHub. So you can go find this on GitHub. Here's the instructions of how to install it. It tells you about all the stuff that it's got, including all the security stuff that I put into it. I did all of that myself. Okay. And then here's how you install it. You just issue these commands on your system. And you have to put some things in here. And then it's just like 5 steps, and you can install this. It took us 10 minutes. And we did that, I think, in the second video, second or third. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the second video. In 10 minutes, we had this thing up and running. And that's what gives us like a secure baseline. And then you don't have to be a cybersecurity expert. You just need to know some terms. Like you need to know what rate limiting is, right? Which is the ability to throttle like the requests that are coming to your APIs. Because otherwise, like a bad guy will come in and just flood your system with requests, and they could take it offline if you haven't put rate limiting in, right? Or what they could do is run up your bill unnecessarily, and all of a sudden you get like $1,000 credit card bill. Like that's not cool. So we want rate limiting in place, which says, hey, you can do only 60 requests within a second. And if you try to do more than that, then we're going to stop you, right? And then there's something called progressive rate limiting, which we're not doing. But like, if you really wanted to be crazy about it, what you could do is you could say, okay, you exceeded the 60 requests per minute. Now you're going into timeout jail. So now you only get 30 requests per minute. And if you keep acting up, I'm going to put you down into timeout, and you're going to be like in 10 requests per minute, right? And if that doesn't work, then I'm just blocking you. You can go mess with somebody else's website, hacker, right? So that's what rate limiting is. So that's one of like 10 concepts that I teach inside my Secure Vibe Coding Masterclass. And you need to know like what it is, but you don't need to know how it works or how to do it. Because what will happen is, as we're going here, we saw Claude Code. I didn't even have to tell it to look for that, because it already has security batteries included. Like I added those, right, as part of that Secure Vibe Coding OS. So now every prompt I give it, it's got security in mind. It's kind of like it's got my brain inside of the AI, and I've made it even smarter in that way, right? So that's kind of cool. Okay, where are we at? Okay, so it's cooking. This is a big lift. Like this would have taken us probably a week or more to go through and make these fixes by hand. And it's going to do it here in 5 to 10 minutes, which is amazing. Amazing. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight, guys. It's Saturday night. You could be doing so many other things, but I appreciate that you were here with me. And we're going to keep this going. As long as you guys keep showing up and we're having fun, then I'll keep it doing. I'll keep going, right? We get to the point where I run everybody off, then I might think otherwise. But now just come along on the journey. We'll have fun. These are all recorded out there on these various, I'm broadcasting to 4 different ones right now: Facebook, YouTube, X, and LinkedIn. Okay. All right, we're cooking. If you haven't done so far, make sure you follow me on these social media streams. Go find me on YouTube, Facebook, X, and LinkedIn. Hit the subscribe on all of them, and then you won't miss anything that I'm putting out. And daily, I'm putting stuff out. I'm adding value, trying to make the world a better place, one app at a time. Now, see, it's writing all the code. This is all JavaScript, okay? But I don't care, and you don't need to care either. Like, I can read all that. I could explain all that to you, but like, that would be a waste of your time. I'm not trying to turn you into me. I'm not trying to turn you into a software developer. I'm trying to turn you into a secure vibe coder. There's a major difference. See, secure vibe coder doesn't need to know all these lines of code. It just needs to rely on the AI to do it, but it needs to know how to check it afterwards. And so one of the things we do is security testing. And we'll be doing that. You guys will watch me do it. But like we're gonna, trust but verify. We're gonna trust this AI, but we're gonna verify that it's doing what we told it to do. And then we don't need to read the code. Honestly, that big app that I told you about that I sold for 200K, it's got 120,000 lines of code in it, and I didn't write any of them. Let that soak in. Okay. I didn't write any of them. Now I've read some of them because I'm curious and I want to check some things and all. And I'm just making sure because it's a $200,000 app. But I didn't write any of those lines of code. Not a one. AI wrote it for me. My tools. I wrote the tools. I wrote the frame. Like, you could think of it this way. I built the machine that built the machine. Kind of like Elon Musk does. He has factory robots that are building the cars. Well, I build through these AI tools, I built like a set of these rules and frameworks and stuff that does what I needed to do securely. Now I'm teaching you guys how to do the same. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Progress summary. Okay, here's what it's done. It's done the rate limiting, API key validation, sanitization improvement, blah, 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 blah. It's still in progress on this. Feature request widget. Okay. Remaining front end work. Okay. So now what it's done. Yep. I'm gonna tell it to keep going. That's how you gotta do. This is like your AI employee, right? So he reports back to you. He's like, okay, boss, I know you told me to do 10 things. I only did 5 of them. Okay, all right, good work. Keep going. All right. That's, you're basically the coach of this AI. You're the director, right? You're not going to do the work. Like, let AI do the work and it's going to report back to you. And then you just say, okay, hey, good job. Keep going. Try harder. Be nice to the AI, by the way. Someday they're going to run it all. So like, you don't want to be yelling and cursing at your AI and stuff, like, right? That would not be smart, right? So I'm always polite. I'm like, hey, good job. Thank you. Hey, that looks great. Like, be kind to your AI agent. That's a pro tip for you. Okay. I'm sort of joking, but not. All right, so let's see what it's doing here. Let's just make sure our functionality still works. Very important. So let's come into our API keys. Let's add a new one. Test 2, create a key. Okay, that works. Let's go ahead and revoke the key. And then let's delete it. Okay, all that's working. Okay, good. Like if we got errors or something, I'd be concerned. Okay, I'm not concerned. Cloud Code's cooking. Let's create another project. My second app. And you have to select a API key. We'll call it testing. Okay, great. All right, so let's jump in there. Let's get a demo going. Let's add a feature request. Dope. Okay, see, look, it broke something here. Okay, it's still cooking, so I'm not gonna beat it up yet. See here, here's what's going on. It's still cooking, so I prematurely went into that. Where are you guys located? California, cool. Might still be daylight out there. Nah, it's probably dark by now. Okay, so here we go. It still hasn't updated the admin, phase 3. Okay, I don't know why I keep stopping. It says, okay, this is done, this is 100% done, this is 95% done, and it hasn't started this yet. Keep going, man. Great job. Keep going. Encourage it, man. Encourage it. Where am I located? I'm located in Florida, sunny Florida. How about you, Nicholas? Where are you at? And what I've taught you here tonight is like, so we have AI and we asked AI to develop this plan, like back on the second session of what this, feature request would look like. And it did a nice plan. It documented it for us. And then it went off. I told it to implement it and it implemented it. It told me that it did all of it, but you always want to trust but verify. Then I come back to it and I say, okay, I want you to, okay, hey, you're there in Maryland. Cool. Family, and I'm in Maryland. Okay, cool. That's where I'm from originally, Maryland. And so what you do is you use AI and you say, hey, AI, here was the plan document. Now I want you to use ultra thinking, which is like a higher level of thinking with Claude. And you say, I want you to use ultra thinking. I want you to evaluate the implementation against the plan. And it'll go through and comprehensively do that. You saw how I just gave it like a nice long prompt and told it to look at all the angles and everything. And it sure enough, it came back and said, hey, these things were missed. You almost want to say, well, why didn't you do that the first time? That's what you would tell a child or something, right? But this is AI, man. Like sometimes it gets distracted. Sometimes it hallucinates. Sometimes it makes stuff up. And so you have to be aware of that. And that'll get better over time. Like over time, it'll get more compliant. But right now, it's just out there like doing the best it can. And sometimes it misses things. So you have to tell it to check itself. Check itself. Hey, that's cool, 3Ds. That's great that you're from there. A lot of cool things come out of there, including like a lot of people don't know out of South Africa. Um, Two of my favorite things in the world, like in terms of toys, come out of there. One is sailboats. South Africa makes like a lot of catamarans these days, and then also airplanes. There's a company called Sling. I'm a pilot and I fly planes. And what I'm going to do is I just sold a plane and I'm saving up to get another plane. And one of them I'm going to get is out of South Africa. And then there's a third thing that I really like that comes out of South Africa, and that's Cobra replicas. There's this company called Backdraft, and they make like Shelby Cobra 1965 replicas, and really cool. And they make them better than anyone, and they make them out of South Africa. How cool is that? And that's where Elon Musk is from. Man, we love South Africa. I bet you guys wish that you had him back. Yeah, I think he's having fun over here. Man, it must be, what time is it over there in South Africa, 3Ds? It's got to be what, 1 a.m. or something? What are you doing up? 4 a.m. What? All right, man. Get some. Early rise, man. Get that bread. It's awesome. I wish I could say I like to get up at 4 a.m., but nah. Sorry. I used to be a morning person. I'm a retired Marine. And so by choice, I was a morning person. Not by choice, but by profession. I was a morning person for 20 years. But as soon as I retired, I gave that up. Now you could call me probably a night person, but I'll sometimes take naps during the day and stuff, like if I'm not working, like on the weekends and stuff. But like, yeah, I'm more of a night person than I am a early morning person, for sure. Hey, it says streamer. Hi, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. Where are you from? Thanks again for joining, guys. If you want more information about me, check out my QR code up there, or the link in the description. Find out about my free mentoring. You also find out about my secure vibe coding masterclass in there, of which this is kind of a part of that. I'm sharing some elements of that, but there's more details in that masterclass. You find that up in the classroom once you go into the free mentoring. And then if you're thinking about building your own app and you want me to kind of help more, well, then you could join one of my mentoring groups, and I have several of them depending on how much of my help you need. Hey, from Pakistan, cool. Glad to have you. What time is it where you're at in Pakistan? Okay, clock code's still cooking. It's still thinking. Here we go. Final summary document. This is funny because a couple of days ago it told us it was complete right here, and it documented that. And then today we come back and we say, hey, check again, and it finds some more things. So in a couple more days, we'll ask it to check again. Can you conclude what you are doing? Yeah. What we're doing is we're vibe coding, and vibe coding is using AI to write apps And so we're not writing the code. Like you see code here, but like we didn't write any of this. AI is writing all that. And we just need to know how to tell AI what to do. And I teach that. But more importantly, I teach how to do it securely. I've been doing security for 36 years. I learned it in the Marine Corps. And I've written 7 books on the topic. I've taught it at universities. I've got all this experience. And so now I'm giving back and I'm helping other people do it securely. That's the difference between me and others that are out there vibe coding. Like you can go watch them. There's a lot of people, just put in vibe coding. You'll find a lot of people doing this, but nobody's talking about the security aspects of it. So we're going to be that group. So come along with us, subscribe, like, hit that alert notification so you're aware whenever I go live. And then drop into my free group there and let's hang out there too. You meet other people that are along this journey and you can get more access to me inside of there as well. So that's what we're doing here. So we're building an app live streamer. And this app that we're building is called User Vibe Coding, or excuse me, it's called User Vibe OS. And soon we'll have this live so you can play with it as well. I own this domain. I also own .com. And we're basically getting vibes from the user at all phases of the user life journey. And so what we're trying to do is attract developers or vibe coders that want to build their own apps. And we're going to help them plug this into their app. And so that they can very quickly like get these signals from their users and they can make more money, right? And here's all the things they can do. Screenshot this if you want, and then you can think about it and look at it later. So just on your phone or whatever, or wherever you're at, screenshot this. And I'm going to go ahead and move off of this screen here in a second or two. Okay. And so we're cooking, and this is what our app looks like. And we had a bug here. So let's see if it fixed that bug. Let's go ahead and refresh this. Okay, demo. Nope, we still have this bug. So I'm going to copy this bug and I'm going to give it back to Claude and I'm going to give it that bug. I just pasted that in and then I'm just going to talk to you guys and hang out. This is vibe coding, guys. We've been at this about 5 hours. We already have maybe 6 hours because I do 1 hour a day or so. And we already have a functioning app that, you know, once we get this bug out of it, that we could actually share with people. We could actually sell it and make money with it right now. But we're going to perfect it a little bit more because we want to be 10 times better than the competitors, because there are competitors in this space. But I've already looked at their stuff and it's junk. So we're going to start dunking on them. And it's going to be clear that like we're already ahead of them. And we've spent 10 hours doing it by the time we do that. And they've spent hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars on their app. And we've already exceeded them because we're using AI to do it faster, better, cheaper. That's what we can do with secure vibe coding or vibe coding in general, but we're doing it securely so that we don't get hacked once we get out there. Anybody can get hacked. Any software can be hacked. There's no such thing as 100% secure system and run from anyone who tells you there is. But what we can do is we can harden the app so that it's sufficiently difficult to break into. Okay, that's what we do. So that the bad guys go somewhere else. We're going to be like in the 1%, like in terms of security. We want to be like up there, like, you know, in that top 1%. And that's about as good as you can get it. Maybe 1 or 2%, like up. We're going to be up there. Okay, so that's what we're doing, guys. All right, so I give it that bug, it ate it, and it said it's fixed. All right, let's see. Yep, looks fixed to me. All right, so let's submit an idea here. This is a feature request, new feature, test, blah, blah, blah. You have to give it a name. We checked all this before. You have to give it a valid email address. Like you can't just put junk, like you have to put like a .com or something in there. And then we're going to submit that idea. And then what happens is once it's submitted, let's see here. Okay. Then we can drop a comment in here, test comment. Okay. And then that goes into a queue. Okay. So the user sees that. Okay. That's different. Hold on a second. Oh, I'm sorry. Over under the settings, we have an option to turn on moderation of comments. I was confused why that went straight through, but that's cool. That's why we're testing. So now what we do is come back over to the demo and we put another comment and it's going to go into moderation. Second test comment. Okay, so now that goes in, and what should happen is over here. What happened? Wow. Oh, we didn't save that setting. Update the features. Okay, that's cool. Okay, third time's a charm. Okay, now it says pending approval. This is that update that it recently did for us. It gives the user knowledge that, hey, that their comment is pending approval. Now notice that it says approval. Now if I come back up here and go over to my board as the administrator, I see that I have a pending request. And if I approve that, then immediately, if I go back over to the demo, it should say that it's approved. Okay, bingo, bango. See, that little thing went away and it's immediate. Right, that's the value of what we're doing here with using Next.js and JavaScript and React and also Convex. But that's I'm just explaining to you why that happened that way. You don't need to care about that. As a secure vibe coder, you just need to know how to give these prompts to AI. Go back and watch my previous videos. You see how easy it's been. We honestly have given maybe a dozen prompts to this thing over the last 5 sessions. Okay. Like, and those prompts are sometimes long. They're like a paragraph or something. But as long as you know how to prompt the AI, you can have a fully functioning app like this with about a dozen prompts to the AI. Think about that, how mind-blowing that is. Okay, so we've got about 6 hours, 7 hours into this app right now. We have a fully functioning app that I could like put out on the internet and we could start collecting Stripe payments. Okay, but we're not done yet. We're going to keep stacking features so that when we do go live, like, customers are going to start coming to us, right? Now, one of the things we need to do as part of the methodologies, we need to get out and start talking to customers. We need to figure out where they hang out, like where developers hang out. And there's a couple strategies for that. We're going to use AI to help find those guys. And then we're going to start commenting, like out on Reddit and Quora and different places about this new capability that we're building. We're going to get some buzz coming up so that we could start, getting some traction. And you guys are going to be a part of that. Hopefully you guys that are coming along, you're going to be like part of the army. You're going to go out there and start like posting on social media about this new tool that you're part of developing, because you're on the team too. And then next thing you know, like, the word gets out and then we end up getting our first customer. And won't that be cool? All right. And you guys will be a part of that and see how it's done so that you can do it yourself. That's the point. All right. So that's enough for today. We've been at it an hour and 20 minutes or 17 minutes. We'll go ahead and wind it down. I will be back tomorrow night at the same time. So, tune in. And thanks for joining. Thanks for coming along. Please do come to the next session and keep coming. I only do this for you guys, right? And, I've already told you the other projects that are going on. I don't need to do this, right? But I'm doing this to share the knowledge and get the group so that we can get a movement going. That's what I'm much more interested in this part of my life, right? So come along for the journey. And until then, you be blessed by the best and take care out there. And I'll see you next time.